Milan's summer plans are bold and risky. These aren't safe, headline-grabbing signings. But when you look closely, there's a pattern. They're building a squad tailor-made for Allegri. Take Guendouzi. He's fiery, unpredictable, and not everyone's cup of tea. But he brings the kind of fight Allegri demands in midfield. What's more impressive, he was 5th in the Serie A for ball progression last season. Despite playing for a Lazio team that doesn't dominate the ball, he brings intensity and forward momentum. A rare combo that fits Allegri's style perfectly. Then, Granit Xhaka. At 31, it's a gamble. But he's an invincible Bundesliga winner with Bayer Leverkusen. Xhaka is a natural leader and still one of the best in Germany at moving the ball through pressure. For Allegri, who wants control, experience and grit in midfield, Xhaka ticks every box, even if time isn't on his side. Up front, Dusan Vlahović. Yes, Dusan Vlahović. He's fallen off this season, inconsistent, low on confidence. But Allegri knows him, and sometimes a fresh environment is exactly what a striker like Vlahović needs to reset and explode once again. Or maybe it's Mattéo Guendouzi, Serie A's top goal scorer. He's raw, more of a poacher than a playmaker, but his instincts in front of goal adds a different edge to Milan's attack. None of these moves are guaranteed hits, but that's not the point. Milan aren't chasing names. They're shaping a team for Allegri's football. Structured, intense, ruthlessly efficient. The risk is real, but the plan is clear. What a week! What a week for Milan! What a week for Milan fans! What a week for me! I've been working non-stop this week, video after video after video, breaking news after breaking news. If you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. I told you guys, the vision is one and only. We have to make this the home of Serie A on YouTube. Okay, but make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Always dive into the comments. I always appreciate it. Allegri's on a hunt. Let's just put it like this. Allegri's on a hunt. Reijnders has been sold. There is cash. There is money. Milan are looking to improve on last season's 8th, 7th, 9th finish. In order to do that, you have to spend the cash. You have to bring in some leadership. You have to bring in some quality. You have to bring in some players that are going to elevate the camp, elevate the team, elevate the squad, elevate the level of performances. Tijjani Reijnders has been sold. And listen, touching on Tijjani Reijnders, I never ever knew the reaction would be so split. 50% of Milan fans were like not happy, but they were open to the idea of letting him go. And the other 50% were fuming. I never ever knew that. I thought everybody was on the same page, that Reijnders must stay and the project must be built around him. But Reijnders is gone. Milan have the cash. Milan have made profits this season. Who are the players that they're linked with? In midfield, Rabiot, Guendouzi, Xhaka. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. If you're going to look at the names and the names only in isolation, then it's the biggest slap in the face. Reijnders, Xhaka. Reijnders, Guendouzi. Reijnders, Rabiot. Like, it doesn't sound good. But I'm here to break it down for you guys. Now, I'm beginning to understand what Milan are trying to build. Now, whether or not I agree with it is a completely different question. I get it. In their eyes, the opportunity came to sell Reijnders for a ridiculous amount of profits. In their eyes, the midfield, yes, it had quality, but it wasn't the most structured. Now, why was it not the most structured? Because of their poor assembling of it. Because of their poor rebuilding / building of it. In their eyes, why don't we build a midfield trio that's more cohesive, that complements one another, that will help us win, see out, and control games, rather than keeping one individual, which, yes, is our best player, but in return, the midfield always looks fragile. The midfield always looks open. Now, somebody else would look at it and say, okay, you keep this guy, but you bring in the right players next to him in order to make it more cohesive, in order to make it less fragile, in order to make it more solid, in order to implement more grit and fight. But they've gone down the pathway of selling him for profit and bring in a brand new midfield. Okay, now the players that they're linked with, Rabiot, Guendouzi, Xhaka. I'll be completely honest with you guys. 2 out of the 3 are players that I like. Now, just because I like them doesn't mean I would have wanted them to be Reijnders' replacement. But what can I do, okay? Reijnders is gone. Option number 1 is Rabiot. Now, Rabiot, Allegri, it's like Romeo and Juliet in this area. Them two love one another, okay? Am I a big fan of Rabiot? I'll be honest with you guys. Rabiot is a good player on his day. But Rabiot is just is heavy luggage. Yeah, with Rabiot, you don't just get the footballer. I'll be honest with you guys. You get his mum, who's his agent, who is a pain. Like, you look at all the stories, the articles, the interviews that she does, the way she carries herself in negotiations. I feel like Milan don't need that. They really, really, really don't need that. Rabiot in isolation, the footballer, he's good on his day. Like, he can carry the ball, he can pass the ball, he actually gets stuck in, he covers ground. It all depends on what Rabiot you're truly getting. And I'll be real, if there was one person out there that got something out of Rabiot, where there was a level of respect and he got consistency out of them, it was Allegri. Okay, and he brings that running power to Milan's midfield. Now, personally, I wouldn't be all for it, but I understand why Allegri would want him, because he's a player that's rewarded Allegri in the past. He's gotten the job for him, so Allegri trusts him more than anyone. Next in line, Guendouzi. Now, Guendouzi is a player that I actually like. Guendouzi is a player that I actually looked at and said, maybe in addition to Reijnders and Fofana, Milan can bring him in. Guendouzi is one of those players where he's like Marmite. Yeah, you either love him or you hate him. Yeah, now don't get me wrong. His play style, I hate it. Okay? But as a player, he's efficient and he's effective. He gets the job done. The only thing that worries me is that he's very similar to Rabiot in a sense where he's heavy luggage. You get more than just a player when you get Rabiot. You get more than just a player when you get Guendouzi. Like, these guys are, let's just say, off the pitch. Like, there's a lot of discipline issues. Like, you need to keep your eye on them. You need to monitor them. You need to pamper to their needs. And I don't know if Milan should be heading in that direction. But Guendouzi as a player, I'll be honest with you guys, in the Serie A, season after season from what I've seen, he grows. Last year, like, people wouldn't believe this, but last year, only 4 players in the Serie A were better at progressing play. So getting it into the final third, getting it into the attacking players at the right space, at the right time, on a consistent basis. And the only 4 players, as wild as it may sound, number 1 is Locatelli, who, in my opinion, last year, Locatelli was amazing for Juventus. The other 3 are Inter's midfield 3. And, like, Inter is the most dominant team in this area, from Calhanoglu, Barella, and Mkhitaryan. He done this for Lazio. So he came 5th. He was 5th in the ranking, and I'll be honest with you guys, his numbers were not far off players like Locatelli, Mkhitaryan, Barella, and Calhanoglu. He done it for a team that isn't the most possession orientated in Lazio. It shows you on the ball, he's always got an eye for a pass. He's always looking to get it forwards ASAP. And maybe, just maybe, the things that I don't really love in the game, which is like that over-the-top aggression, over-the-top fight, like a shit starer, okay? I don't really like that in the game. But sometimes you need that within the camp. Sometimes you need a player that's going to step on opposition players' boots. Somebody that's going to step on their toes. Somebody that's going to rattle them and annoy them. Like, in a squad, you need a collection of things. You need the hard workers. You need the guys that are mentally composed. You need the technical players. You need the physical players. You need the communicators. You need the quiet ones. With him, he brings fight. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. He brings a surplus of fight. And Allegri, we all know the type of football that he wants to play. He's probably looking at it and saying, this Milan team, it needs fight. Like, I'm going to accept, I'll go into a game, I might go 1-2-0 up, but then I'm going to sit back. I can't sit back with players that are just flair and technical ability. I need players that are going to sit back and put their bodies on the line. Like, players that are going to track back, win their duels, that won't stop running up until the 90th minute. And I'll be honest with you guys, Rabiot is one. Guendouzi is one. Are Milan heading in the direction of playing the football that I would want to see them play? No. But does this football get you results under Allegri in this area? Yes. It's the harsh truth. Yes. Especially when you get him the players that he truly wants in a good period of their career. Guendouzi, like I said, I've never ever had an issue with the player. I actually think he's a good player. He brings something to a team which many players don't. I just don't like the delivery of it, okay? Like let's just say, you will never ever see me paying money to go and watch somebody like Guendouzi. I would never ever pay money to go and watch somebody like Guendouzi. But I understand what he brings to a team, and I understand why a lot of managers tend to like him. He was a player that was liked at Arsenal up until we had a falling out. He was a player that was liked at Marseille. I believe he had a falling out over there. At the moment at Lazio, he's liked. He's had a few falling outs, but that's Guendouzi. You're going to get a good player, but there will be the odd falling out here and there. Then Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka is a player that I've always liked. And I'll be honest with you guys. Always liked Granit Xhaka. Always. And don't get me wrong. Maybe, just maybe, it would have been better if Milan got Granit Xhaka when he first left Arsenal. He went to Bayer Leverkusen. He's an invincible winner. He was an integral piece to that team. Xabi Alonso handpicked him and said, I want you to be my midfielder, my warrior, my leader. And I'll be honest with you guys, this dude is not slowing down. He's never ever been a player that's relied on his pace to play the game. He's in the right place at the right time. And once again, are you guys beginning to see the pattern? All 3 of these players, they're warriors. They're fighters. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, as much as I love Tijjani Reijnders, doesn't really offer much off the ball. And that is one thing we can all agree on. He doesn't offer much off the ball. These three will bring you something on the ball, and they will bring you a lot off the ball. Xhaka, he gets stuck in. Xhaka is a leader, bro. Okay? Like, come on. Xhaka. Hey, Albania versus Serbia. I think it's tomorrow. Crazy game. Okay? But anyways, we'll touch on that later. Xhaka, he's a warrior. He is a leader. I'll be honest, I've got no issue with Xhaka. I don't look at his age and say anything. He's one of those dudes that will actually wear the badge on his chest with pride. He's a winner. He's been there, done it before. He can play football. He can break play. He can score goals. I don't even reckon he'll cost you that much. Okay? Xhaka is a good recruit for any team in this area. I'll be honest with you. Then you look at the forward options. It's being reported Dusan Vlahović, Allegri proper likes him because of his time with him at Juventus. As much as the football doesn't really suit Dusan Vlahović, Vlahović scored goals under Allegri. He did. Okay? He scored goals under Allegri. Vlahović is leaving Juventus. I'll be so honest with you guys. And I actually think Milan can get themselves the bargain of the century, because it's looking like not many teams across the world want him because of his wage package, because of the fact that he hasn't really performed this season in this area. But anybody that knows me will know how much of a big fan I am of Dusan Vlahović. I think with Dusan Vlahović, there is a player there. I wouldn't even say it's about unlocking. I just think Vlahović needs to be in that environment where he's loved. Yeah. And it's a shame because it says a lot about his mentality. And I've always questioned Dusan Vlahovic's mentality. Players that need to consistently have that arm around their shoulder, that need to be loved, that need to be pampered to. I'm not really a big fan of them because I feel like it's just too much work. Like, it's just such high maintenance. But I'll be honest with you guys, if you're going to get goals and you're going to win trophies and you're going to climb up the high table, bring on the high maintenance. Yeah, bring it on. Call me the HM manager. Okay? But anyways, Vlahović, there's ground to that one. Allegri likes him. Vlahović wants out of Juventus. Juventus want him out. Juventus are more than happy to sell to a rival. I just think Vlahović, Milan shirt, fresh start, new environment. Like, I just think it's one of those signings that we will look back in years and say, how did Juventus let him go? Because I'm still of that opinion. He's been catastrophic this season. Like, he's been dog shit this entire season. Okay? But I feel like there's a player there. I will never ever brush under the carpet what I saw at Fiorentina or what I saw earlier on at Juventus. The second option is Retegui. Retegui is flavour of the month, probably flavour of the year. Okay, Serie A top goal scorer, 25 goals. Every type of goal you want. Dink over the keeper, one-on-one, from outside the box, volley, diving headers. Apparently it's being reported they want 45 million. That is a steal. That is the steal of the century. But with Retegui, I just think he's not the most attainable. I'll be honest with you guys. I think Retegui for 45 million, Atalanta are going to be difficult to negotiate with. And I think teams in and around this area are going to pounce at that opportunity. So it's going to come down to who can sell their project the best. Okay? But I look at Vlahović and I say that is a deal which... That Vlahović, I think, I'm putting it out there. I think Milan get Vlahović. I'm just putting it out there. It just makes sense. Allegri likes him. He likes Allegri. He wants a fresh start. They can get him for a bargain. Of course, he needs to lower his wages. But when you look at overall the package, especially with the fact that they're signing Luka Modrić, it's looking like, let's bring fighters, let's bring runners, let's bring players of high intensity, of high physicality, because Luka Modrić brings the technical side of the game. Do you see where I'm coming from? Luka Modrić, the conductor, the orchestrator. He doesn't really have the legs. The dude's 39. So you partner him with players that have legs. Players that are willing to do the dirty work in order for him to do the fancy work on the ball. Do I agree with it? No, but I'm beginning to understand it. I'll be honest with you guys. Yes, it pains me to say that in order for this to happen, Reijnders had to be sold. But I'm beginning to get the plan. I'm actually beginning to understand why they want these players and how they complement others. But listen, these are all rumours. You never know. You never know who Milan will sign. But if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys on another one.